What's up, fuckers? I wanted to start off this episode with a case study. I wanted to present to you some information that I've been researching for the past whole season. Now, I've been looking in on the success of the players in our fantasy league this season, and what I found is that there's one common factor in between the guys that end up leading the most. At the beginning of the season, Donnie had this factor, and he was leading for 7 games in a row, hashtag 7 and 7. Chef now has the same quality, and he's leading the pack. Allow me to present to you the work to success matrix in fantasy terms. As you can see, if you work an average amount, 40 hours, you'll have about average success in fantasy. When you start working more than that, your success starts to plummet. Now where it gets juicy is down here. Less than 20 hours, you're at 80% success. 10, 90. And guess where you're at with 0 hours working? So I guess the interesting takeaway from this case study is, if you quit your job at just the right time to catapult yourself into first place for the fantasy league, you may be able to take away that bag and make up for the lost time while you're not working. Somebody try it out and let me know how it goes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, week 12 is in the books, and we're about to start off week 13 in fantasy. We already had the first game finish up in Thursday Night Football. It was a horrible game, competitively speaking. The Patriots never had a chance. As a matter of fact, Mac Jones was seen on the sideline after the game screaming, "Throw the fucking ball! The fucking run game sucks! Fuck!" On Sunday Night Football, we got the Cowboys playing the Colts, which is going to be another snooze fest on prime time. They should have flexed the Dolphins 49ers game into that spot, or at least the Chiefs and Bengals. In our own fantasy league, let me start off by giving a shout out to the Dub Club. Vaughn, Chef, Edwin, Greg, and me. Vaughn and Henson had the matchup of the week, the highest scoring matchup of the week, 125 to 149, leaning in Vaughn's favor. I can't believe that Henson had Josh Jacobs on his team score 47 points and was not able to win. But Justin Jefferson, Brian Robinson, Nick Chubb, and Justin Herbert all scoring at least 20 points made up for the fact that Vaughn was playing against the Josh Jacobs owner. In our next matchup, Chef beat Eric 101 to 82 in a near clapping with Alvin Kamara -5 points overall for the week. Next up, Edwin beat Christo 119 to 74 with the biggest cheek clapping of the week. I would say a cheek spreading pretty much, with Christo playing Dak Prescott and Tony Pollard. That's what he gets for having the gay-ass Cowboys. Playing against Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, and Kyler Murray, as well as James Conner, to name a few. Greg was able to overcome Raul 92 to 79. Good job, Greg. Christian McCaffrey 4.9. Travis Etienne 0.3. He was injured in that game, I believe. We'll see if he's able to come back this week in the matchup against me. I'm hoping not because of injury-wise, but so I don't have to face him. And last up, in my matchup against Donnie, I was able to beat him 114 to 103. He did not have Jamar Chase come back in the game just yet, although he did change his name to Uno's Revenge. I guess we're going to have to wait another week for Uno to get his revenge. Alright, before we get into the guest interview, there's one more segment that we can't forget. It was a huge week in terms of fantasy power ranking turnover. From the very top to the very bottom, we only had one person that stayed in the same place that they were last week. Greg. Otherwise, Chef and me both were able to scoot up some spots, Chef sneaking into first, while I was able to jump over a few spots with my win over Donnie. Raul dropped down a couple spots with his loss, but Vaughn crept up a couple spots as well. Eric and Donnie both dropped down 2 spots simultaneously, while Edwin jumped up 2 spots above Hristo and Henson, who both dropped down 1 spot. These last couple weeks are always batshit crazy, with people jumping and leapfrogging spots. It's going to be cool to see where everybody ends up in the last week as we get into the playoffs. Alright, coming up, I got a very special guest on my interview segment for this week's episode. Alright, next up, let me welcome my special guest for the night, a man I've known for over 12 years, quickest with the memes in the group chat, the homie with the fastest car in the league, but it's also a truck. Everybody give it up for Vaughn. What's up, bro? Alright, let me start off by asking, how's the TRX?
I freaking love it, bro. It's probably one of my favorite vehicles I've ever had so far.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm sure. I mean, when you let me drive that shit, it was insane how fast it is for how big it is.
Yeah, I was going to say you drove it, so you know how it feels.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I was going to say, are you going to keep it? I know it's guzzling gas and the economy's getting tight. Are you looking at something else, or?
I mean, I'm always looking for what's out there. You know how it is being a car guy.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, for the moment, I'm going to keep it. I think it's a pretty good daily driver.
Yeah. Shit, I remember back when we were in high school, we were working on our cars, washing them together. You had the Subi, I had the Acura.
All the freaking time, bro. And we had a Peggy at the same time at one point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that Teggy. That was one of my favorite cars. And you had the blue one, right?
Yeah, it was like blue or purple or whatever.
Oh, it was
like
purple. The S13 was the blue one. The baby blue.
Yeah, that was the baby blue one.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
With no AC, I'd show up to work sweating balls.
I remember, and it had like 20s on it or something. It had big-ass wheels.
Yeah.
Or 19s.
It had like 20s on it.
Yeah, I remember they were big.
Fat tires.
Yeah. That was dope. Well, bro, you've been in the league for a while, enough to know who's a fan of what team. Out of the teams representing our league, who do you think is most likely to win the Super Bowl, and what team is most likely to have the highest draft pick?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I think Greg and his Chiefs are probably going to win the Super Bowl. But I think Hristo and his Eagles might be in that game, so that could be a close second. I think Eric, Raul, and Shep with the Raiders are going to get the highest pick. Because fuck the Raiders. I also think that Edwin and his Rams could be a close second.
Yeah, they're basically competing for the worst.
Probably lose it out more than the Rams just because the rest of their schedule is harder.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Well,
yeah.
You've been in the league long enough to know which players are doing good and which players are kind of doing bad. So tell me which one player each, which one you wish you drafted, one you're happiest you drafted, and one you're happy you didn't draft.
So as a Chargers fan, but also as a fantasy and just football fan in general, I wish I drafted Eckler. I always forget to draft that fool.
Yep. Awesome Eckler.
Touchdowns, he had a slow start to the season, but man, he picked things up pretty quickly, especially us in a standard league.
Yeah.
Touchdowns are
running backs are big.
I always regret not drafting him.
Yep. And then, so that's your player you wish you drafted. Which player are you happiest you drafted on your roster?
I would have to say Justin Jefferson, man.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, you were right next to me when we were doing the draft, and I kind of felt bummed that I picked a wide receiver for the first round. But man,
it's paid off.
Regret it.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so tell me one horrible player you're happy you didn't draft. I know which one I would say.
So for me, player I'm happy that I didn't draft, and I actually had him on my site because I also had him last year, would be Mike Evans.
Yeah. He's been a huge bummer. Dropping a bunch of passes. I think he only has 2 touchdowns.
I think he's still on pace for 1,000 yards, but I mean, with Tom Brady regressing a little bit and that team just not looking good overall, I feel really glad I didn't draft him.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Well, I'm surprised you didn't say fucking Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, I did have him too. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm the one that drafted him, so I guess I'm the one that's sour. All right. Well, next up, you already know the segment, Clapped or Close. So let me just start off with Donnie's matchup versus Edwin.
All right, so this one I think it'll actually be a close matchup. I'm gonna pick Donnie though by a smidge, but that's only if Jamar Chase plays. I mean, they're kind of
looks like he might
hear about if he's gonna start or not.
Yeah.
So whether he plays or not, I think Donnie will take it if he does play.
Okay, I feel it. Next up, Greg versus Eric.
This one, I think Eric's going to clap Greg's Chiefs. Because also, fuck Greg and his Chiefs. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, this week, I think it might be close. If Mixon plays, or if he doesn't play, and then P. Ryan starts for Greg.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that's the case, then it might be a little closer than I think.
Yep. Okay, I feel it. Yep, it's always up to those running backs when it comes down to these last couple games of the season and they start dropping off from injuries.
Yeah, it's all about the depth.
Yeah, for sure. Henny versus Chef.
So this one, I think it's going to be close too. I think Henny's going to take it by a smidge. Just because
Hope so.
Burrow's facing Kansas City this week. I think it might be a good shootout.
Okay. Yeah, down with Chef.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, you got Josh Jacobs too, so if he plays...
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he freaking
playing against my
beasted.
Chargers' terrible run defense. Yeah, it's over. Bro.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your teams, how about your fantasy team versus Christo?
This one, I think it'll be closer if, again, going back to Greg's matchup with Eric, if Mixon starts, that would be huge for Aristo. So it would make it closer than what the projections are saying right now.
Yeah.
I'd hope for the win, but I'm gonna humbly give it to Aristo.
Okay. Very humble. Yeah. You don't want to jinx it, right? Well, you do have a good fantasy, or you do have a good playoff outlook. Do you have a vision for the bag this season? You think you can grab it?
It's crazy because, I have Herbert, and I think if, with the rest of the Chargers schedule, it looks like it's looking pretty good for him.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's coming back into form.
Yeah.
So I feel like my my rest of the season is riding on him.
Yep.
Actually doing good, which is why I'm kind of coming into a comeback.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to do better.
Yeah, he started off a little rocky. He started off good.
This week.
Then he got a little rocky, and then he's picking it back up again. If you guys can get half of your GIMP squad back into rotation.
Right, yeah, because I was going through some injuries there too, but with the waiver wire pickup and my trade with Donnie,
yeah,
I think we had a pretty good, fair trade there. I mean, I got his Higgins, he got my Zeke. I think, I needed a good wide receiver.
Yeah,
he needed something.
Yeah, that was a good pickup.
Running back or flex, so I think it's been pretty even so far.
Yep. Donnie's been known for making all those trades.
Right, I've never done a trade, so
yeah,
I think my first trade.
Good shit.
I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. All right, we got one last matchup. It's going to be the matchup I'm looking at most, obviously. Mine versus Raul this week.
Sorry to say, bro. I think Raul's going to clap your cheeks.
No, hell no. Get out of here with that.
I'm favoring Raul just because he has such a crazy depth. I mean, look at his bench. Look at the projections of points that his bench has. I mean, out of everybody in our league, he has, I think, the best depth right now. So that's the only reason why I'm also favoring him, because even if some of his people don't start, he's got bench players that he can put on. But having said that, it could also be closer if Garoppolo gets into a shootout with the Dolphins, because their secondary is kind of, a little misty right now. So I think it could actually be a shootout, and you could get some good points. And you also got Jamal Williams. That's the next a running back that I think that's been putting up a lot of touchdowns this year.
Yep.
Again, being a standard league, that's super important for us. So I think in his game against Jacksonville, I think he's going to put up a couple tutties there. So it'll be closer than I think.
Yeah, thanks for the good analysis for sure. We'll see how it goes with me and Raul. Obviously, I hope you're not right, but I do think you made some good points for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. It's an honor.
Yep, absolutely, bro. All right, bro, thanks for coming on. Hey, if anybody needs a house, hit up your realtor, Vaughn. But otherwise, best of luck on your matchup, bro, and good luck rest of season, and hopefully I don't have to see you in the playoffs.
You too, brother. I'm going to see you in the championship match again.
Appreciate that, man. All right, take it easy.
Later, brother.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Stay tuned for next week. If everything goes according to plan, I should have a very special episode in store for you guys. Good luck on your Week 13 matchups, and I'll catch you next week on the Fantasy Freestyle Podcast.